in the seminar there, one person mentioned, it sounds like a wake in here. And I feel like that's a lot of the sense that people get these days when any discussion about journalism, happens in that kind of town hall meeting type format. So, do you think that's warranted, or is it just people having a quick reaction, or what do you think?
Well, there's a lot of conventional wisdom about the death of newspapers, but frankly, conventional wisdom is pretty wrong. What's happened is newspapers are not dying. What's happened is the huge profit margin newspapers once enjoyed has condensed dramatically.
Right, yeah.
And, yes, this has made Wall Street punish the newspaper industry by driving the cost of stocks down, and it's reduced the profit margin. But a reality check here. We have 1,470 newspapers, daily newspapers in America, something like that. Less than 1% of those newspapers went out of business in the last year. You want to compare those numbers to real estate agencies or convenience stores or you name the business in these tough economic times. So bottom line is journalism is more stable than most folks believe, and print is more powerful than most people recognize. If you look at major national newspapers, 89% of their profit is still driven by print.
Mm-hmm.
And so the revolution's coming, but it's not going to put newspapers out of business overnight. And I think journalism is still a vital and vibrant business to be in.
Mm-hmm. How do you see, we kind of had some discussions about that in there. How do you see journalism adapting? And I think a lot of people don't give enough credit to the people that have been trying new things online and things like that. What do you see as being a possible answer? Or
in the end, it all comes down to whether people are going to be willing to pay for journalism. And, we're having this conversation at a music conference, the same question. Are you willing to pay for music? Are you willing to support songwriters? Are you willing to support performers? Are you willing to support professional journalism? Or do you think that all you need in life is little bits and pieces from a lot of different websites, battling blogs? I mean, if that's good enough for you, you're going to get exactly what you're willing to pay for. Mm-hmm. My hope is that people will eventually move towards quality, that the novelty of free will wear off, and that people will say, wait a second, I've got one life to live, and I want it to be an informed one. And and so I think there will be, journalism is alive and well. The only question is whether it's going to be a vibrant profession, whether there be enough revenue to allow all these journalists to make a living, and I sure hope so.
Mm-hmm. And what's the biggest difference maybe you've seen just in general from when you started working to these days, maybe about the audience or about just the industry in general?
Well, I've been in the news business for 30 years, and I would say the biggest difference I've seen is that in 1978, when I got into the business, you were regarded as sort of a clod if you didn't read a daily newspaper. If you had a friend who never read the paper, you'd say, what an uninformed fool that is. He doesn't even care about what's going on in the community. And that's just made this huge dramatic change where people brag about not reading daily newspapers. I don't get that. Obviously I'm old school, but I admire the people around me who know the most, who are best informed, who understand what their communities and what the world is like. And you get a lot of that from newspapers and from good television broadcasts and from quality magazines, and we can't allow people to be too proud of ignorance.
Mm-hmm. And I guess my last question kind of deals with blogging and how that kind of fits in. When we were talking in there, I feel like some of the old guards.
Just finishing up an insightful.
Oh, you're fine.
Hang in there, Gary.
You're fine. Some of the old guards, honestly, kind of have a cold or bitter, view of blogging and that whole world. How do you feel blogging fitting in? Is that something? Some people say that will take over. Others say that the newspaper just needs to incorporate that. How would you respond to that?
Blogging is cool. I think James Madison, if you're around today, he would be so excited about this. Yeah. There would be a jamesmadison.com, and there would be a blog written by the founding fathers, because they believed in the power of ideas, and it's a great thing. The kind of blogs are kind of the killer app of the First Amendment. Love it. But I don't think you can say that's enough, that one person sitting in their bedroom reflecting on the world's events, that somehow is going to be as valuable to the public dialogue as a reporter sitting in Tel Aviv reporting on what's going on there. They're dramatically different. And so blogs are an interesting and powerful component in terms of somebody's information diet. They're good, but to suggest that they replace traditional journalism is just not realistic. And you shortchange yourself if you think that's all you need.
Okay.